So you're thinking of getting into data, but there's one problem. You don't know which role to choose. Do you become a data analyst working on reports and insights? Do you aim to become a data scientist, diving into machine learning and AI? Or do you pick data engineering, where you build systems that power everything? Or even a mix of all three. Now, each of these roles have their own pros and cons, salary differences, work-life balance, and job demand. And today, I'll break it down so you can figure out which one is right for you. Let's get into it. What does each role do? Now, before we compare work-life balance, job demand, and salaries, let's go over what these roles actually do on a day-to-day basis. Data analyst, the storyteller. A data analyst is responsible for interpreting data and providing insights that help a company make better business decisions. They'll often work closely with stakeholders such as managers and executives and directors to answer any critical business questions they might have using data. Now, a data analyst's typical daily tasks often include cleaning and analyzing data, creating reports and dashboards, and presenting insights to decision makers. A data analyst will often work with SQL, Excel, Power BI, Tableau, and Python to extract meaningful patterns from data and visualize them in a way that non-technical teams can understand. Now, data analysts are needed in industries such as finance, healthcare, retail, construction, tech, and marketing. And becoming a data analyst is an excellent choice for people who enjoy business strategy and problem solving, but perhaps you prefer the slightly less technical side as compared to data scientists and data engineers. Data scientists, the predictors. A data scientist often goes beyond basic analysis and focuses on predictive modeling, machine learning, and AI-driven processes. Now, one of the key differences is while a data analyst might use past or historical data, for example, I could use historical share price for a company to figure out what decision a business should take. A data scientist focuses more on building a model that predicts what might happen in the future. A data scientist's daily work often includes building machine learning models, conducting statistical analysis, cleaning, preparing data, and experimenting with cutting-edge AI techniques. Data scientists work extensively with programming languages like Python and R, as well as tools like TensorFlow, scikit-learn, and cloud computing programs and softwares to develop these models. Data scientists are also in high demand in industries like finance, healthcare, e-commerce, AI research, tech. However, the learning curve for becoming a data scientist is much steeper, and it requires a strong background in maths, statistics, and software engineering. Data engineer, the architect. A data engineer focuses on building and maintaining the data infrastructure that analysts and scientists rely on. Without data engineers, there would be no clean, accessible data for businesses to use. There would be no data warehouses, there'd be no SQL warehouses, there'd be no databases, there'd be no data pipelines, etc. A data engineer's main responsibilities include building and maintaining data pipelines, managing cloud storage and databases, and ensuring data flows smoothly between systems. They'll often work with tools such as AWS, DevOps, Apache Spark, Google Cloud, SQL, and Python to optimize data storage and processing. Now, in my role, whenever I go to a database and ask it for a certain set of data, that data is put in that database by the company's data engineers. So any database you go to, even if you go to a publicly available database like Companies House, those reports, those company financial information, those filings have been put in there by data engineers. And they're highly sought out in industries like tech, financial services, manufacturing, and healthcare, especially more as companies start to depend more on large-scale data processing. The role is best suited for someone who enjoys software development and back-end engineering rather than direct technical data analysis or business strategy. I've worked with data engineers on a large software project we were working on, and they have incredibly fine-tuned skills. Now, what's interesting is that there are also roles that encompass more than one, if not all three of these roles, especially in startups, newer companies, newer divisions within companies. You could be hired as a data analyst, a data engineer, or even a data scientist, and still have to do a combination of all three responsibilities. There are newer fintech or tech companies where you're expected to work on most aspects of the data from start to finish, including managing, analyzing, storing, and providing insights from it. Salary compensation. Who gets paid the most? Now let's talk about one of the most important factors: salary. Salaries for each role vary dependent on location, experience, and industry. So here's an average salary comparison in 2025 for the US versus the UK. At the entry level, 0 to 2 years worth of experience, data analysts typically earn between £40,000 and £50,000, which is $50,000 to $70,000 per year. Data scientists start slightly higher with salaries ranging from £50,000 to £65,000, which is $70,000 to $90,000 per year. Data engineers have often the highest starting salaries, earning between £55,000 and £70,000, which is circa $75,000 to $100,000 per year. It's important to note that people who end up as data engineers or data scientists often started at the data analyst level and specialized into more senior, more technical roles, either through experience or via completing a specialist master's degree. Let's talk about mid-level experience salaries, 3 to 5 years. Data analysts can expect to earn between £60,000 to £80,000, which is $80,000 to $100,000 per year. Data scientists who require more of a specialized skill set see salaries of £80,000 to £100,000 a year, $100,000 to $130,000 per year. Data engineers, because of the high demand for cloud computing and big data set skills, earn between £90,000 and £110,000 a year, $110,000 to $140,000 per year. Let's talk about a senior level at 5 or more years of experience. This is the level where salaries increase quite significantly. You've created a strong foundational base, you understand businesses and how they work, and senior data analysts can earn anywhere from £90,000 plus, which is $120,000 and upwards. But senior data scientists and data engineers often reach £120,000 plus, which is $150,000 and above. Now, as you can see, data scientists and data engineers often earn more than their data analyst counterparts, but the higher salary comes with a higher barrier to entry in terms of required skills and education, which is why a lot of people start off as analysts and then transition into higher paying, more senior data engineer and data scientist roles. Job demand. Which job has the best prospects? Now, each of these roles is in high demand in a range of different industries, overlapping industries in many cases. But the hiring trends depends on the industry needs. Now, data analysts are consistently in demand because businesses in every industry rely on data-driven decision making. But as AI tools become more developed and more prevalent, some traditional data analyst tasks have been automated. Analysts who develop skills in client relationships, business strategy, understanding how a business works, understanding how a business earns the best profit, understanding a business's weaknesses and efficiencies, they're the ones who are going to have an edge in the job market. I would also say data analysts need to be well versed in automation as well to set yourself apart in the job market. Data scientists are also in high demand, particularly in AI-driven industries like tech, fintech, finance, and healthcare. But there is a shift happening. Companies are becoming more selective with the data scientists they hire, often hiring those who have specialist machine learning skills and experience working with large data sets. Now, data engineers are arguably the most in demand of the three because companies are dealing with larger and far more complex data sets than they have in the past. Now, imagine a company's just transitioned from ledger-based bookkeeping to a fully digital system. The amount of data that has to be transferred and managed and stored and updated is absolutely vast. Now, with the rise of cloud computing and data lakes, engineers with skills in AWS, Azure DevOps, Google Cloud, and big data technologies are in high demand, often outpacing the demand for analysts and scientists. Not only that, especially those data engineers who can combine the technical side of things with maintaining a client relationship, giving advice on and dealing with and arranging client deals. Work-life balance. Which role has the best? Now, work-life balance can vary significantly depending on company culture and even industry, but there are some general trends. Data analysts tend to have a better work-life balance than the other two. Analysts often work regular office hours and don't have to deal with any on-call situations. There can be quite a lot of pressure from executives to deliver a report at the last minute, which you'll find especially more and more in industries like finance, tech, and fintech. Those three are generally high pressure industries, and you can generally expect to work longer hours than you're allotted. Data scientists can often have a slightly more unpredictable workload. Some days are spent researching and testing models, while other days can involve intense debugging and deployment work. AI-related roles can be demanding. It can often be demanding, but they typically don't involve urgent or high-pressure situations. They tend to err more on the experimental and developmental side of things. Data engineers, now they often have the most demanding schedules simply because they're responsible for keeping a data pipeline running smoothly. If a pipeline breaks, an engineer may be on call to fix it immediately so that it's still serving your clients in a timely manner, and that can lead to longer working hours. But there is a flip side where a lot of data engineer roles can be offered remotely, which maybe sort of helps balance out the workload. So if work-life balance is your priority, then data analytics is probably the safest option. Now comes the real question: which data role is right for you? If you enjoy solving business problems, presenting insights, and working with data in a slightly less technical way, then becoming a data analyst is a great choice. It's often the easiest entry point and provides good job security. If you're fascinated by AI, machine learning, and automation, then data science is worth considering. But you have to be prepared for a steeper learning curve and more competition for these roles. If, on the other hand, you like software development, back-end engineering, and cloud computing, then data engineering is the best option for you. It has high salaries and strong job demand, but it also requires a fine-tuned set of technical skills. With data science and data engineering, you have to be prepared for much more competition in these roles. You'll often be aiming and applying for roles which have far stiffer competition. Other applicants might have 2, 3, 4 years more experience than you will. It's also important to know a lot of these jobs can have vague or inconsistent job titles and job descriptions. I'll give you an example. My role is technically data analyst, but since I joined a new department with a new style of working, it's almost like a startup style environment. I've had to deal with a lot of things like managing data pipelines and SQL warehousing and uploading data into our SQL warehouses and uploading SSIS packages and updating data that way, and machine learning modeling where it came up. An enormous part of statistical analysis, statistical and financial modeling, alongside all of the typical data analyst tasks. Now, in a way that can be seen as advantageous because I've learned a set of skills that I otherwise wouldn't have had access to. I've learned so many industry skills, and it's potentially easier to move up into a senior role, but it also means I've likely done a lot more work at slightly below market value or what I would have been paid had I specialized. So it's really important to read a job description. Firms and companies can often use analyst, engineer, scientist job titles interchangeably. If you're unsure where to start, becoming a data analyst is the best first move. That's a smart move. Many professionals start off in analyst positions and transition into data science or data engineering once they have more skills and experience. So which one do you think suits you the best? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're serious about starting a career in data in 2025, check out my video on how I would learn data analysis from scratch if I had to start all over again in 2025. I'll link that up here and down in the description below. That's all for this video. If this video was useful, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.